In this episode of Fictional Hangover, we talk about anti-murder ennui, putting our helmet on and slurping tomato soup, and actual human plus awkwardness equals murderbot in our discussion of All Systems Red by Martha Wells. Hey everybody, welcome to Fictional Hangover, a podcast about young adult and new adult books, series, authors, and voice actors that is full of spoilers. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Claire, and today we're going to discuss All Systems Red by Martha Wells.
Standard disclaimer. If you haven't read this book, please remember that Fictional Hangover is all about spoilers. If you haven't read or listened and don't want to be spoiled, stop listening to us and go read or listen to the book. Then come back. If you haven't done this but want to pretend that you have, or if you don't care about spoilers, or if you just like the show so much that you don't care about any of that, then listen up.
Yay!
Yay for Murderbot!
I am really looking forward to basically saying one sentence about this and then that be my whole entire discussion. But 5 out of 5, no notes. So I kind of really want to just dive into it. So do we have any background information for this?
Well, yeah, we do have a little bit. I found an interview with Martha Wells, and I didn't, hey, look at me being a really good librarian, did not make a note of where I found this information. But the interviewer says, I really appreciated that Murderbot refers to itself as it rather than he or she. Are there challenges in writing a truly genderless character like a robot? And Martha Wells responds, I think the challenge comes from how deep in our culture the idea of gender is, and how hard it can be to think outside that box. Even though I was committed to the idea of a character who was not human and did not have a human expression of gender, I still made mistakes and was lucky to have an editor and early readers who helped catch them. And I am afraid that we might also do that throughout this episode, so please forgive us if we accidentally gender Murderbot.
In my defense, if I gender Murderbot, it'll probably be in the masculine because I listened to the audiobook, which is narrated by a male narrator, and whose name's completely gone off my head.
Kevin R. Free is his name.
Thank you. He also does Welcome to Night Vale, which I absolutely adore. So
do you know what else he narrated?
No.
In Deeper Waters by F.T. Lukens.
Ah, he's so good. Oh, that boy got range.
Yeah. I think it's funny, though. I actually recall myself not liking the narration of In Deeper Waters and commenting on it in that episode. But Murderbot, I absolutely love the narration. So I don't know what it is. Kevin R. Free is clearly talented.
It might be down to the direction. It might just be down to the way that they wanted to do the audiobook, and it just wasn't for our ears.
It's possible.
There's a multitude of reasons. Just because we don't like or think something's particularly done well doesn't mean that other people don't.
Right, but I feel like
that's really interesting.
Yeah, I remember saying that I did not like the narration, but I don't want to read Murderbot. I want to listen to it.
Yes.
Because he did such a good job.
It was so good.
Right?
It was so good. So funny. I'm still cackling over it. Well, I don't think those are our initial thoughts, though, about, audiobook narration.
No.
Capabilities.
My initial thoughts are really more of a thank you to the person who made me read this book. This book was presented to me by my library director, Patty. She told me I needed to read this book, and I'm really glad that I listened to her because it was fantastic. Now, granted, that was a few years ago, and I have listened to all of them and have enjoyed all of them, but I'm really glad that she suggested that I read this one. And also, and we might mention this a little bit later, because, hey, Patty's joining us for Would You Rather, because it's her favorite book series of all time. But I traded her. I made her read The Girl Who Can Move Shit With Her Mind by our favorite Jackson Ford. So,
perfect.
Pretty good trade-off, I think.
Very good trade-off. I agree, yes. Thank you very much, Patty, for forcing Amanda, who therefore forced me. I mean, it was very light touch forcing.
Right.
So, oh, yeah, you twisted my arm. Oh,
yeah, none of it was inappropriate.
No. It was the correct use of violence.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Which I feel like is a running theme lately.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Okay. Are you ready to begin?
Yes. Yes.
Are you sure? Do you have anything else to add?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know what's happening right now.
I don't know either. My brain stopped, literally. My brain just went, error, error, error.
Loading, loading, loading. Murderbot disabled its governor module 35,000 hours ago and has since consumed nearly 35,000 hours of entertainment. Without the governor module, Murderbot can essentially do whatever it pleases, and what it pleases to do is watch soap operas. Not murder humans, though it has done that a few times, which is why it disabled its governor module. Now, Murderbot has accepted a contract as a SEC unit on a mission to explore a small planet with a team of humans. As two of them, Dr. Valescu and Dr. Bardwaj, explore a crater, a giant worm creature explodes out and practically eats Bardwaj.
Murderbot immediately bursts into action, pulling Bardwaj out of the monster's mouth and inserting itself instead. Though it has a small projectile weapon on each of its arm, Murderbot pulls the massive cannon off its back and fires it down the monster's throat and up, hopefully into its brain. Situation secured, Murderbot carries the injured Bardwaj and tries to coax Valescu out of the crater. When Valescu doesn't move, Murderbot opens its helmet and shows off its actual face, which it hardly ever does. This gets Valescu to move.
While all this is happening, Dr. Mensa, the leader of the mission who hired Murderbot, well, she had to because all survey teams must have at least one SEC unit per 10 people, has traveled to meet them at the crater in a hopper, a small transport craft. Mensa and the others, Pinley, Arata, Oversay, Rati, and Garathan, are very shocked that Murderbot, who they don't know calls itself Murderbot, has a face under its helmet. Murderbot ignored messages from the hub system telling it what to do to survive the situation, which wouldn't be possible without turning off the governor module, but no one seems to notice, so it's fine. They also don't seem to notice that Murderbot is missing most of one arm and is severely damaged.
After Murderbot drops off its human companions, it secures the hopper and goes to its cubicle to secure a ready room to recharge and heal. Dr. Mensa comes by to check on her SEC unit and tells Murderbot how impressed everyone was with the rescue. Murderbot is super awkward around humans and would much rather watch its favourite serial, Rise and Fall of Sanctuary Moon, than talk to anyone. Luckily, its power supply falls to 38% and must shut down to repair itself.
I wish I could do that. Just completely shut down.
I was just thinking it's like convenient Odin sleep in the first Thor movie, when Odin's like, oh damn, the situation's got really awkward. Odin sleep.
The next day, Murderbot wakes up and is restored to 80% functionality. It would stay in its cubicle longer, but Dr. Mensa has summoned it for a meeting. She and the rest of the crew of Preservation Ox bought part of the planet to see if its resources would be useful, but it seems that the planetary materials they received before coming on the mission were tampered with. Murderbot, who has arrived in regular human clothes and not its full body armor, which causes the crew to have no idea who just arrived, which makes Murderbot feel uncomfortable, scans the documents and discovers that, yes, any mention of giant person-eating worms and other harmful fauna seems to have been removed and replaced with fake information. But why? Has the hub system been hacked? Surely not.
Dr. Mensa decides that everyone on Preservation Orc's team should search through their planetary information to see if anything else seems to be amiss. While this is happening, Murderbot puts on its full body armour and helmet and watches some Sanctuary Moon. Dr. Mensa also wants to contact another survey team, Delta Fall, on another continent of the planet to see if they can share their data. Delta Fall agrees. Several of the team members find that their information has also been tampered with, so Murderbot decides to do a perimeter check for safety, but then everyone wants to go explore the planet because there seems to be entire sections of it missing from their maps. Dr. Mensa privately asks Murderbot on their communication feed if it thinks the information they received was bad because the corporation who sent it was cheap, or if something is wrong. Murderbot thinks they're cheap, but insists on accompanying them when they decide to search.
On the hopper, Dr. Mensa suggests Murderbot ride in the co-pilot seat. Great! More awkwardness. Actually, it's not that bad. Checking the security feeds and listening in on the rest of the crew's conversations, which every SEC unit can do, Murderbot realizes that the humans are actually nice and don't want to force it to be chatty unless it wants to be. Well, it doesn't. They take off with Mensa acting as pilot, even though autopilot is engaged, and as they're flying, Murderbot notices that autopilot flickers off for a bit. Mensa notices too and takes control of the hopper, but then autopilot comes back and everything's fine. They find several areas that are not on their maps and decide to investigate.
When they land, the team splits up to explore and gather samples, but Murderbot has to keep watch over them to stop them from walking into danger zones that Murderbot can see on the digital map it has. But that seems to have been erased from everyone else's. What's going on? It must be a glitch. Luckily, Dr. Mensa calls them all back to the hopper. They get back to their habitat without issue, and while the team begins to go over their findings, Murderbot goes to its cubicle to watch serials. While it's there, Hub System alerts it that there have been updates delivered for Murderbot systems. Murderbot stashes them away. Without the Governor module, it doesn't have to perform any updates it doesn't want to, and it's too busy with its serials now to bother. Maybe later. As the day comes to a close, Dr. Mensa tells Murderbot that they're unable to make contact with Delta Fall. Oh, great.
Oh, great. Mensa wants to go to Delta Fall's habitat to make sure they're okay, or rescue them if they need it. At first, Mensa wants to leave the SEC unit at the habitat to keep the ones staying behind safe, but Murderbot insists on accompanying the small team to Delta Fall. It's decided that Pinley, who has habitat construction experience, Oversay, who is trained as a field medic, and Rati, a biologist, will go with Dr. Mensa and Murderbot to Delta Fall. Only Dr. Garathan, who is an augmented human, seems to dislike this plan.
As the small group travels towards Delta Fall's location, Rati decides to engage with Murderbot, which of course is awkward and painful. Ugh. Ratty starts by noting that imitative human bot units, which is what Murderbot is, are constructed from cloned material, but it's clear that Murderbot has feelings. Avasi immediately tells Ratty to stop because he's clearly bothering Murderbot, and Murderbot sends the recorded conversation to Mensa, who shouts to Ratty to stop because they talked about this. Murderbot gets up and awkwardly stands in the back of the hopper for a bit and starts watching its serials again.
Overnight, the satellite feed goes down and Murderbot alerts everyone. Pin Lee says it's been going down periodically since they arrived on the planet, but now they've lost communication with the habitat because of it. And, well, that just doesn't feel right. No, it's not right at all. They decide to continue to Deltfall because they don't want anyone to die because they're being overcautious. But the whole situation really doesn't feel right to anyone, especially Murderbot.
They arrive at Deltfall at dawn and, well, everyone there is dead.
Damn it.
Murderbot searches through the habitat while Mensa, Pinley, Overseer and Ratty stay behind in the hopper. Murderbot might not care about much, but it does care about its record of keeping people alive when it's not supposed to be actively murdering. So it wants all the humans to stay behind. It's a good thing. As Murderbot searches the habitat, when drone cameras helping it to keep an eye on things, it comes across another sec unit, a dead one. Sec units are notoriously difficult to kill, and unless you were just terrible, you probably wouldn't happily kill someone you hired to work for you, which likely means that this sec unit and the other two sec units that Murderbot knows to exist on Deltfall are probably who killed everyone. Now Murderbot has to find the other two, and it does.
Murderbot sends a message to Mensa, knowing that the other two sec units are probably listening, and together they set up a sting. They plan to meet in an area of the habitat, but then Murderbot rushes in and takes down the two sec units who were definitely listening in. Murderbot takes a few shots, but is relatively fine until it gets hit by something so hard it goes down and its systems fail. It wakes up on a table with another sec unit stabbing it with something in the neck, but oh no, we can't have that. Murderbot rotates its arm around the wrong way and takes down the attacking sec unit, shooting it in the head with its own projectile. Another sec unit appears in the doorway. Just how many are there? But then Mensa sneaks up behind it with a sonic mining drill. Mensa might be an intrepid galactic explorer like all the ones Murderbot has watched in its serials.
Fan-botting. It's fan-botting Mensa now. Mensa drags Murderbot back to the hopper and inside. There might be more rogue sec units, but Murderbot is having trouble scanning for anything outside the hopper. Oh no. Murderbot reaches back to its neck and feels something inserted in its data port. It suddenly realises that the rogue sec units aren't rogue. They have been inserted with combat override modules. And so has Murderbot.
Ah, damn.
Ooh. It demands that Mensa shut it down, but she won't. She believes that she, Pinley, Ratty and Overseer can find a way to repair it, but Murderbot knows there's no time. It picks up a small hand weapon and shoots itself in the chest. Oh my gosh. And Murderbot shuts down.
Oh. When Murderbot wakes up, even though it didn't want to, but it also didn't want to die, it finds itself immobilized, but it also finds the combat override module has been removed. Everything is back the way it was, except that it's immobilized. It secretly undoes the immobilization that Garathan used Hub System to put on while it listens. Garathan used Murderbot's repair time to research about it, and he knows that Murderbot has a disabled governor module. Everyone argues that Murderbot is a good Murderbot, that it shot itself so it wouldn't attack anyone, and it has saved their lives a bunch of times. Garathan is still wary, but no one else is.
Everyone continues to talk and speculate that maybe the company they work for is trying to kill them by providing them with a hacked sec unit, since the Deltfall sec units were also hacked, and there were more of them than there should have been. Murderbot finally has to acknowledge that it is awake and is not going to murder anyone when Garathan tells them all that Murderbot is a murderer, and in fact calls itself Murderbot. It also says that the company might suck, but it's not actively trying to kill them. It has much easier ways to kill everyone than sending rogue sec units out into the world.
Garothan still doesn't believe and tells everyone that Murderbot appears to have been downloading media and watching serials, but those are probably just hiding what it's actually doing because there's no way it could have watched so much media, especially 700 hours of Rise and Fall of Sanctuary Moon. They test this by talking about Sanctuary Moon and asking about its plot, and Murderbot shouts about it. They all realize it has indeed watched hundreds and hundreds of hours of serials.
I want to take Murderbot to a con. After much discussion, they decide that someone, probably not the company, has hacked Hub System, but the company has probably accepted a bribe to conceal the fact that someone else is there, hacking things and hiding discoveries on the planet. But who? Whoever it was probably pretending to be them to attack Deltfall, and they probably have an extra sec unit, and they probably sent them to inject the other sec units with the combat override modules because they probably want to blame the sec units for everything that is happening. They realise that if Deltfall had come to them asking for assistance, they would have helped, which is probably exactly what happened to them and why they're all dead now. They also realise they would definitely be dead if Murderbot hadn't hacked its own governor module. It's a good thing the Hub System didn't realise that, or something terrible probably would have happened, and it's even better thing that they shut it down. So what happens when whoever is doing all this comes for them? It's an excellent question.
They decide to try to set off their emergency beacon and flee from their habitat, knowing that whoever is behind all this is probably going to come for them. Murderbot sends out drones to search, and then they get destroyed, so they load up the hoppers and take off. Luckily, no one follows. They get a little ways away and decide to stop for a bit. Murderbot does some perimeter searching and some personal searching as well. Its stomach twists when it thinks about abandoning its team to die, so that's definitely not going to happen.
Back on the hopper, everyone talks about why Evil Survey, their name for whoever is after them, is after them. It's a brilliant name. They decide it has something to do with the things hidden from them on the map. Whatever those are. Murderbot... I said that completely
No, it's
weirdly,
all very, they have no idea what's going on. Like, whatever that is happening. It's probably bad, but we don't know because we don't know what's happening.
It's true. Murderbot left some drones recording at their original habitat to try to learn anything it can because they're pretty sure Evil Surveyor will snoop around. But it will have to go back to retrieve the data because it no longer is connected to the sec system on account of Evil Surveyor. Murderbot doesn't think Evil Surveyor will stay at their old habitat for long because, as Mensa has deduced, they are after them, not what they have. Murderbot asks if the political entity Preservation Orcs works for will miss them if they all disappear, but everyone looks back at it strangely.
Later, after another perimeter check, Murderbot asks Rati why everyone was so shocked when it asked about the political entity, and Rati explains that Dr. Mensa is their political entity, so of course she'll care if they all get disappeared.
Because she's one of the ones that disappears.
They are part of Preservation Alliance, a non-corporate system that seems to be a pretty good way to live. In fact, in the Preservation Alliance territory, bots like Murderbot are considered full citizens. That might be nice. Mensa is an elected official, so at least... even though everything is literally terrible right now, the company will do whatever it takes to ensure Mensa makes it back safely to Preservation Alliance. Murderbot thinks that Evil Survey might not know what they've gotten themselves involved with, because harming a political entity is really, really bad.
The next day, Murderbot plans to go back to the habitat to check on the drones, and Mensa, Pinley and Ratty insist on going too. Oh, and Corinthian. But he's kind of a dick about it. While everyone else is sleeping, Corinthian asks Murderbot about if it was punished for murdering everyone that it murdered when it malfunctioned before it took out its governor module, and if it wants to kill everyone because of that. It was punished, but it can't want to kill every single human because some are bad and cause bad things to happen. That explanation seems to be enough for Garanthan for now.
When they arrive at the habitat, Murderbot watches the drone footage and sees that the evil survey team arrived and is called Grey Chris, and they have 5 sec units with them that are assumed to have been taken over with combat modules. Great. They also left a message that they destroyed their emergency beacon and are requesting a meeting. Mensa asks Murderbot's opinion on meeting with them, and it decides that Grey Chris has nothing to lose and will probably kill them. Mensa thinks that Grey Chris thinks they know why Grey Chris is there, but they don't, and she decides it's because they went to the unmarked area on the map and collected data there, so whatever is in that data must be important. So what are they gonna do? Murderbot has an idea.
Mensa and Murderbot head to the meeting with Grey Chris. Mensa tells them that her team has evidence of their activities on the planet and that they've hidden it so it will be sent to the emergency pickup ship when it arrives. Grey Chris says that they can work something out, and Mensa says she'll send her sec unit to discuss. This is where Murderbot's plan comes into play. Amanda.
Murderbot knows that as soon as it approaches Grey Chris, they will try to take over its governor module so they can insert the combat override and send it back to murder everyone. It tells Grey Chris that, which freaks everyone out. Then it offers to go along with them and tell them important things if they will mark it as destroyed property and take it away. Instead of agreeing to this, Grey Chris demands to see Murderbot's leader, but Murderbot says Mensa knows they're going to kill her and that she's a leader of a political entity. This shuts Grey Chris down. They can't kill her without severe consequences. They demand to see her and send another sec unit to accompany Murderbot to retrieve her.
Murderbot immediately murders the Grey Chris sec unit and tells Mensa that everything's going wrong. She has to pretend to be the prisoner, and it has to pretend to be the Grey Chris sec unit. When they arrive, Grey Chris says that they know someone in Mensa's team is trying to set off the alert beacon, but if Mensa goes with them, then no one will be harmed.
As they travel back to the Grey Chris habitat, Murderbot uses the surveillance footage to eavesdrop on what's going on. Mensa tells Grey Chris that her team knows about the remnants of the former inhabitation of the planet that Grey Chris is trying to dig up and sell. Bardwaj just discovered this the night before, and it is a big deal, TM. All Grey Chris wants is to know what they can do to keep Mensa from sharing this information with the company. Well, obviously, they can, not kill them. But can they be trusted? Probably not.
They arrive at the Grey Chris habitat, which Murderbot hopes is far away from their emergency beacon, so it can keep all the other sec units distracted while Pinley and Grantham hack into their system and trigger it. It's not really so that's bad. When they trigger it, everyone nearby will probably be exploded by it. The sec units notice something is going on at the beacon, and Murderbot moves in to protect Mensa. Everything goes to shit after that. I mean, it's pretty bad already. The sec units start shooting at Murderbot, and then there's a wall of fire that knocks out Murderbot's systems. Murderbot flickers on and offline a lot, and at one point tells Pinley that they should just destroy it and leave it behind.
No.
Mensa declines.
When Murderbot finally comes back online, it is out of its armor and in regular human clothes. It realizes they are at the company station, not at the habitat, but that its governor module is still disabled, and it still has all of its media downloaded.
Oh, thank goodness.
Rati is there when it comes to and tells it that Mensa has permanently bought its contract, meaning that Murderbot will get to live on Preservation Alliance with them. There are company humans there who insist on wiping Murderbot's systems, but Pinley, who's also there, says she has a court order, and together she and Rati escort Murderbot away into a hotel room where everyone else is waiting.
Mensa asks if Murderbot is okay and tells it that it will be returning to Preservation with them and will be a free agent there. Murderbot seems to find this troubling. Will it still get to have its armour? It doesn't have the cubicle. Mensa says Murderbot can have armour if it wants, but it doesn't need a repair cubicle because hopefully no one will be shooting at it anymore. But if no one is shooting at it anymore, what will it do? Anything. Anything it wants to do. Murderbot has no idea what that would be. It would have to act like an augmented human, but it's not an augmented human. Mensa leaves Murderbot to think while she talks to solicitors and people from Delftfell and Grey Chris and political entities about what happened to them while they were researching.
Things calm down and Mensa is able to talk with Murderbot some more. She says she will be Murderbot's guardian, but that it can do whatever it wants. Learn anything it wants. Do anything it wants to do. When Murderbot is left alone, it does do what it wants to do. It leaves the hotel, goes through a work zone, and sneaks into a locker room to steal a bag, boots, clothes, and a jacket. It changes clothes and now looks like any other augmented human traveling somewhere. It finds a cargo ship, tells it it is a servant bot who needs a ride to get back to its guardian, shows it all the media it has downloaded, and is welcomed aboard. Apparently, cargo ships watch serials too.
Murderbot doesn't know what it wants, but it definitely doesn't want anyone making decisions for it or telling it what it wants. That's why it left Preservation Alliance and its favoured human, Mensa. Murderbot decided for itself that it wanted to leave. So it did.
Oh, Murderbot.
Murderbot, my favourite murderous bot.
Oh, Murderbot.
Let's go and watch some serials for several hundred hours and we'll get back to the summary after to the discussion.
Yes, I agree. Just disappear for a long, long time.
Hi, I'm Michael.
I'm Barbara.
And I'm Lauren.
We are the hosts of Badass Literature Society, a book review podcast where we take book recommendations from listeners like you, read them, and then discuss them on our show.
Join us once a month as we dive into the books you picked and talk about them.
And don't miss our bonus episodes covering all sorts of random bookish topics that come out in between reviews.
Don't worry, if you want to read one of the books, the first part of each episode is designated spoiler-free, so you can listen and see if you'd like to read it, and then come back and listen to the rest later.
You can find Badass Literature Society on Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon Podcasts, and anywhere else you like to listen.
Now, back to the show.
I wish there was a Zoom thing where it shows you like an old face and stuff. Well, hello, we've watched our story.
It's been 35,000 hours. We're done watching the serial.
84 years. We still remember you, Murderbot.
I want to be Murderbot.
I think I am Murderbot in some respects. I think we're all Murderbot.
I think we are all Murderbot, just a little bit. I love Murderbot. So we were talking about this a little bit before, but I really, really enjoyed the narration of the audiobook. Kevin Arfree was Murderbot.
Yeah.
Did a fantastic job being a murdersome robot.
It was a good matchup. It was a very easy listen as well. Very quick.
Yes.
I was surprised how quick it was.
Well, this is just a novella. the first 3 of this series, I think there are 7 out right now. The first 3, I think, are shorter novellas, like 150 pages-ish. Fewer than 200, whatever. But then the 4th one, I'm pretty sure, is a full-length novel. And then there's some more novellas, and then I think there's another full-length novel.
I like that.
Yeah, it's fun.
You know, the book is as long as it needs to be, and it's not padded out unnecessarily.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. You know, this is the story that Murderbot needs to tell right now, and that's it. That's all we need to know.
Yeah.
We don't need any fluff. We don't need any nonsense, which is exactly Murderbot.
Throw in a romance because it's the taste du jour at the moment. We need to have a romance in there. Or not.
Nah. No, we don't need a romance right now.
No, I really enjoyed it. It was really good. Well, no, the forcing was not very... It didn't have to be very forceful. It's like, oh, I need to read Murderbot. Okay. If you're gonna present me with the title Murderbot, I'm gonna read it.
Murderbot.
So yeah, it's like I said already, like I really, really enjoy it. No notes apart from positive.
Yeah, just squealing about how much you love Murderbot.
Yeah, it's gonna be short and sweet from me. Unfortunately, this week, like I relate to Murderbot on so many levels. I just want to sit and watch TV, or read a book, or play Switch, or just do other. I just want to do my own thing, and not have to worry about everything else.
Right. Murderbot is very relatable.
Yes, you don't want to be told what to do.
No.
You want
to make your own choices. You want to make your own decisions.
Yeah. I did like the fact that like Murderbot is a sec unit, which is not an augmented human, but is human enough.
Yes.
That can pass.
Yes.
Because it kind of reminds me, and this is probably what Martha Wells has done. She's like looked at like the synthetics from Alien, who look exactly like humans. But every single time you see a synthetic in Alien, you go, oh, well, they're a Murderbot. They're gonna kill you.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
But turned it on its head, and yeah, it's a Murderbot. Yeah, it wants to kill you, but it's not gonna.
It's not gonna, because it's gonna exert too much effort. And it's gonna take away from watching its soap operas.
It's so relatable.
Just can't be bothered. I just don't. Just leave me alone. That's all I want. Just leave me alone.
So, what did we call it? Whimsical ennui.
Yes. Whimsical ennui.
Is this anti-murder ennui?
Yes, it is. It is. One of my favorite scenes is when Garathan has discovered all of Murderbot's secrets. That it has, it's disabled its governor module, and it has decided, it's gonna watch all of these serials. It's downloaded all of this material, and then Garathan says, it calls itself Murderbot, and then Murderbot goes, "That was private." It's its secret name. That was private. I really enjoyed that.
Murderbot was every right at that point to murder Garathan. Every right.
Yes.
It's an invasion of privacy.
Yes.
Would you ask a dragon its true name? No, you have power over it then. You don't do it.
Oh, that's actually my surprise. Can I just skip ahead to my surprise that no one punched Garathan because Garathan deserved to be punched?
Oh, mine was even like surprised nobody murdered Garathan.
I know. Garathan really bothered me.
If there was ever a character, if there was a character in this book that deserved a good scudding, it was Garathan.
Yeah, I think that I liked everyone else in the book. Everyone on the team, except for Garothan. This is my favorite characters. Everyone but Garothan.
Yeah, I mean, Murderbot's the MVP.
Of course.
Without question.
Of course.
I really like Mensa and Murderbot's relationship. Like, it was friendly, it was professional. But, like, you know how Murderbot was like, I don't like awkward situations. And then as soon as it was in one, and it was like recording a situation, sending it to Mensa, and she's like, stop it. Stop annoying the sec unit. Stop annoying Murderbot.
Stop bothering it.
Just leave it alone.
Yeah, just leave it alone. Stop bothering Murderbot.
I like the way they tested Murderbot's knowledge of the soap
Oh my
opera.
god, me too. They just like vaguely describe something that happens. That's a fucking lie. And then they're like, it's watching it. 100% watching Rise and Fall of Sanctuary Moon. What did they say? They're like talking about an episode of it that like someone
I can't remember.
Was pregnant or implanted with a baby or something weird, something completely bonkers, and Murderbot, that's a lie. It's a fucking lie.
It reminded me of like the Spanish kind of soap operas, that kind of over the top ridiculous drama. Yeah. And then Murderbot's reaction was completely on point for it, like being in that kind of frame. It was just so funny.
Oh,
I do want to take Murderbot to a Sanctuary Moon convention.
That would be really fun. Murderbot would really enjoy that. Do you think Murderbot would dress up in a cosplay?
Yes.
I don't know if it would. Yes. I don't know if it would dress up because then people would look at it.
No, but everybody else is dressed up as well.
That's true, so it would blend in.
Yeah, I mean, just look at famous people at Comic-Con. They put full cosplay on so they can go and actually enjoy the convention and be themselves.
That is true. So
nobody looks twice at anybody in a costume apart from to admire the costume.
Yeah. I really appreciate. I think again it was Garothan, and Garothan's like, why don't you want anyone to look at you? And it says, you don't need to look at me. I'm not a sex bot.
I mean, fuck.
Yeah, like it doesn't have those feelings. It doesn't have a gender. It doesn't have any parts like that. So like that's not what Murderbot was built for. Murderbot was built for murdering. No.
But even then, right, it has a level of sentience and autonomy, right? If you build a sex bot and it takes out its, like, disables its governor module, it's going to have a level of sentience and autonomy, and it need, at that point, yes, it's created for a sex bot, but then it needs to offer consent. It's this weird, like, next level kind of thinking when it comes to technology and AI that I am ill qualified to make decisions on, but concerned enough about it to reiterate consent is key.
Consent is key.
Yeah. And just because somebody is created to do something or forced to do something doesn't mean it defines who they are.
Yeah. Like, I mean, that's why Murderbot disabled its governor module, because like there was a massive like accident where Murderbot killed a whole lot of people because of some like failure in coding or something. Something terrible happened, and then it murdered 1 million people. Then it was like, you know what? I don't want to do murders anymore. So it disabled its own governor module. So it didn't have to do any more murders, and it could just watch its serials. And I also enjoy that it reads books and tries listening to music sometimes. I mean,
yes.
Rise and Fall of Sanctuary Moon is clearly where it's at, but...
Hey, that's fine. That is fine.
At least it's not like in the Kingdom where they, like, just wanted to read Anna Karenina.
Oh my god, freaking Russian literature.
Would you rather read Russian literature or watch soap operas?
I'll watch soap operas. I just can't be bothered to exert that level of brain matter into something I'm not invested in. It would take me forever to read it because I would just keep falling asleep.
Yeah. Same.
It's definitely literature of its time, and if you enjoy it, that's fine.
Sure.
But I can't get away with it.
Yeah, no, not for me, and that's okay. It's okay for you to decide that you do want to read something or do not want to read something. It's completely up to you.
Yeah. I used to work with this guy. He was amazing. He'd had a massive stroke and he'd come back from it. So he was nearly disabled, one half of his body. It was a horrible, horrible stroke, but he fought back to the point where he was walking and, his life was back to normal. And it's just, hearing his life story is great. But he looks like a salty sea dog who would have a little fishing trawler and fight Cthulhu-style krakens all the time. He was amazing. His facial hair was magnificent. And he absolutely adored Charles Dickens. And I just could not get away with Charles Dickens when I've been, probably because I've been forced to read it in educational terms. But he absolutely loved it. And he was just so impassioned about talking about it. And I was like, that's great. You're the demographic for Charles Dickens. I am not.
Oh.
Anywho, murderbots.
Murderbots.
Honestly, I'm sorry I'm really boring this week. I just can't give you any criticism over this because I just really enjoyed it. And it's such a good, quick listen. And it was so well presented on the audiobook that I literally listened to it I probably did in 2 sittings because I did it in bed. And I was playing Switch, listening to it, chuckling away, getting wrong for laughing too much at certain points. Disturbing the peace.
How dare you?
How dare I? And I just had a nice time. I really chilled us down, and I was having quite a stress. I mean, it's been a couple of weeks since I've actually read it, and I was having a really bad, stressful week that week, and I just needed something that was going to help chill me out and cheer me up. And this really, that entire situation helped, but this really fit the bill of something that was completely not related to anything that's going on at the moment, so you can distance yourself from the stresses, but also really enjoy and think, you know what, Murderbot, yeah, I just want to sit and watch my stories. I don't want to have to stress about other humans and interact with them. I don't want people to talk to me. I just want to be in my own little bubble doing my own thing. So at the time I was reading it, really hit really well. I can imagine reading this in the pandemic and thinking, no, I need that social interaction. I need, when we're in the depths of pandemic, I can imagine some people, not me, love the pandemic, social isolation, brilliant. But I can imagine some people who are very social creatures not being able to actually read this during the pandemic when we are forced to socially isolate. Going, no, I can't get with that. But now, when you are forced to be with people and around human beings, going, you know what? Yeah, I'd murder them all. No, I just want to read the story.
Just leave me alone. Just leave me alone all the time. I don't want to be involved. Just lower my screen.
Yes.
Don't look at me.
Don't look at me at all. Stop looking at me.
Don't look at me.
Stop it.
Oh my goodness. Should we move on? Is it time?
It's time. Pew, pew, pew,
pew. Are those your projectile weapons? Is that your cannon?
Pew, pew, pew. There you go. There's the canon. So we asked... Oh, sorry.
Wait a minute.
What?
Wait a minute. This segment of Would You Rather is very, very important today because the person who inspired me, forced me to read Murderbot has joined us in this episode. My very most favorite librarian ever, Patty. Oh,
Yay!
Look, everybody be nice to Patty because Patty's my boss.
And also a librarian, and librarians will take over the world.
Yes.
Respect your librarian, find a librarian and give them treats.
Yes.
We like treats.
We do like treats. We like gifts. We do not like hateful people, though, so you can keep that. Unless it's us.
We are never hateful.
That's only the breakout room.
Or me privately in my own home, hating everything and everyone. It's fine. It's fine. Yikes, stop talking. Amanda, stop talking. What is our first Would You Rather question, Claire?
I'm quite enjoying the stream of consciousness coming out of your mouth. Right. On social media, we asked, would you rather be able to watch your favourite soap opera all day or be able to eavesdrop on everyone around you using security cameras? On Facebook, 67% are watching security cameras. On Instagram, security cameras won again with 88%, and it was 100% for security cameras on Twitter. And TikTok, it's 85% for security cameras. Everybody is a nosy blighter. Everybody.
I'm a little bit surprised, really, about how many people are watching security cameras all day. Look, it's not very exciting, except for in very small increments.
I think it depends on the TV program as well, because like you can just binge watch episodes now on Netflix and Amazon Prime, and they're not like traditional soap operas, which is every day for half an hour to an hour, which I've never watched a soap opera, so yeah.
I think you're right about that, Claire. I think if you had said, do you want to binge watch your shows or watch security cameras, they would have taken their shows.
I don't know.
Watch me stories.
Your stories. Look, okay, if Murderbot is not watching soap operas, I don't know what else to describe it as.
Well, if Murderbot's not watching Spanish soap operas, like you see spoofing on TV programs, that's what I expect.
Murderbot is watching telenovelas.
Yes.
He is not. I mean, it is not at all interested in what people are doing. So, and I have to agree. Yeah. Don't want to know, don't care. Just would like to be entertained with my shows.
Yeah, because security cameras are not that exciting. Do we have any good comments from anybody?
We do have a few comments. Brie on Facebook said, give me my soaps. Made up drama over actual drama any day.
Constance on Facebook said, okay, working in kitchens of resort hotel, give me the damn security camera and some popcorn. Prepare for a good drama-filled time.
Colin on Facebook wrote an essay. It's time for Super Creep. Yes, Super Creep is here for all your security camera watching needs. Want to have a private conversation? Not with Super Creep in the control room. Alone time in the shower. Super Creep doesn't think you should be lonely. Sleeping? Super Creep is there. Need a nosy perv? Just call Super Creep. Da, da, da.
I know some pervs. I
Yeah.
some perverts.
They're in the non-fiction section. Right, next comment.
Emily on Facebook said, soap operas can be too cheesy for me. Bring on the real drama.
True. And Drew on Facebook said, I already watch enough TV, so I'll be nosy instead.
And finally, Annie on Facebook said, security cameras are creepy. Soap operas always have fabulous outfits.
That's true. That's true.
It is true.
What comments do we have from the breakout room, the library breakout room?
Oh, please let me take a moment and look at the picture that I took today. Let's see. Eavesdrop, I hate soap operas. Telenovelas, they're hilarious. Eavesdrop, I won't expand on why. TV, I really don't care about other people's business enough. I don't really watch TV. If anime can count as a soap opera, then I'll pick that. Otherwise, I pick Eavesdrop, I guess. And then there's one very important note that was scrawled on here that was Patty's. So, Patty, what are you... Expand upon what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm actually really glad that our staff is not 100% eavesdrop because I find that very yeah. And Murderbot, I totally get Murderbot not wanting to see what anyone else is doing because, you know, humans, ooh.
Ugh, yeah, ugh, humans, ugh. I think I agree. I agree with Murderbot. I would rather watch anything other than the security cameras. I've had to watch the security cameras, like, at the library, and it's not exciting.
No.
It's not exciting at all. It's quite dull.
I think you're probably more likely to find things that you don't want to see on security cameras than anything particularly interesting. Like, you'll find out secrets about colleagues and friends and other people, whatever industry you're in, and you're like, oh, well, I can never go to that place again. I can't do that again. I can't look that person in the eye, ever. Or you'll have to report them to the police. No.
Yeah,
I don't thrive on drama.
No.
I get more invested in fictional characters than real people. I give zero flying fucks about most human beings.
Yes. Agreed.
Fictional characters, invested.
Okay. Next question. Would you rather have arm projectiles or a massive cannon on your back?
Oh. I'm going to go first because I already know what my answer is going to be.
Okay, what is it?
And it's because I've seen Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And I want the arm, Nebula's arm cannon, the one that can pretty much do anything that Rocket built for her. And that turned into a giant cannon, so, like, with arm projectiles and stuff. So I'm going to go for the arm projectiles, where it can be like, rather than massive cannon. Plus, I like lying on my back to go to sleep. And, you know, if there's a massive cannon there, I'm not going to be able to.
Well, you can just pull it off your back and, like, snuggle it. Snuggle your giant cannon.
True, but arm projectiles. I can wait till I can see the whites of their eyes and then, you know, mess the face up. I woke up choosing violence today. I'm not sorry.
You did. Patty, what do you choose?
Yeah, well, I'm kind of a wimp, and so trying to carry something on my back is just a non-starter for me.
The definition of effort. Oh, cannon on my back, really? Ugh, do I have to?
I just want all. I want all of them. Can I have all of the weapons?
No, there's no option C. You know the rules.
Damn it. I want all the weapons. I guess...
If I have to.
I'm gonna go massive cannon. I can do more destruction. I can do more...
Size is not everything. Oh my god.
I don't care.
Sizes.
I can do more murders at once. With a giant cannon.
You think you can. You think you can. But you've seen Guardians. You know what Nebula's arm can do. That's freaking amazing.
That's true.
And the projectiles could be anything. We're not specifying exactly what the projectiles are. If it's a cannon, you know...
Well, it's not necessarily a cannonball. It could be a t-shirt cannon.
Oh, that's even worse.
That's even worse. Why did I say that out loud?
The t-shirt cannon, it whips into your eye, and then you've got pink eye, and you get horrible infection, and you go blind.
No, none of this is actually happening. Just let me have my cannon and be happy about it.
Is it like a Death Star style cannon on your back?
Yeah,
you
sure.
Take out Alderaan.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll do that.
If you're not planet destroying, you're not doing it right. Next question. Would you rather be a secu unit or an augmented human?
I feel like if we don't know already that I choose murder all the time, and I want to be murderbot, and I want to be a sec unit, then nobody knows who I am. So, Patty, what's your answer?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy being human. So yeah, augment me. I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm mellowed.
I'm disappointed. I was expecting full-on murder.
Be murderbot.
You can be BFFs with murderbot.
Oh, I would definitely be BFFs. Yeah, I'd be making him talk about his feelings all the time.
Oh no! I'd be sitting on the sofa watching TV with them. It's like, no, shush. We don't want to have a conversation. I want to watch my stories.
Please share all of your media with us, murderbot.
Yeah. I'm ashamed. I would be Rothy for sure.
Yeah, that's fine. Claire, what are you doing? Murderbot?
Yeah, as much as augmented human has potential, I can see the possibilities. Screw it. Let's murderbot it.
Just murderbot it.
Just murderbot it.
What did you say, Patty?
As long as your governor module is borked.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I need it borked. If it's not,
you gotta bork that. Because if you don't, I mean, you might accidentally kill all of your friends.
I don't want to kill all of them, just 99%.
Yeah. It's fine.
It's above average percent.
Would you rather always wear a helmet that hides your face so people think you're terrifying and don't want to talk to you?
Yes.
Or reveal your face and then people think you're interesting and want to talk to you to learn more about you.
Hell no. Which weirdo's picking that one?
Nope.
Nobody.
No, I want a Judge Dredd style helmet where you just see like the butt of my nose and my mouth, and I just go around telling everybody I'm justice.
No, I don't even want that. I want like Daft Punk. And it just.
But you can't eat snacks. You can't eat. I'm thinking about the snacks whilst I'm watching my stories.
Or like the Mandalorian. You can only take the helmet off. Like
he
can at least get a straw in there.
Straw up there.
Yeah.
I mean, I would eat soups all the time if it meant that people didn't talk to me.
I've had a really nice cheese soup. It was years ago, but it was really nice. So I'd even get my cheese supplements in there.
You would. Like, I happen to know that Patty can make a very good soup. So, you're welcome. So, would you make me a soup if I was always wearing a helmet? Will you please allow me to always wear a helmet at work?
Yeah, I've got to cancel that one out. Nope.
Hush.
Well, I wore that Darth Vader helmet a couple weeks ago.
And did you keep it on all day? No.
Oh, you broke up. Oh,
I
Amanda,
did.
I'm so disappointed.
I know. I had to take it off.
Okay, so important question is, what soup does Murderbot like?
Does Murderbot even have to eat?
You are a Murderbot now, so yes, you have to have your soup.
Oh, like me, Amanda Murderbot.
Yes. What is Murderbot Amanda soup?
I mean, I'm kind of a fan of tomato.
Oh, I love tomatoes.
Well, and it has to be smooth. It has to be a smooth, non-chunky variety of soup. I can eat it with a straw. Because I can't remove the helmet.
I've just got this image of you sitting on this really plush sofa, watching TV with the helmet on, and all you can hear is the... And every now and again it stalls because it's too thick for the straw. No. You'd have to have a special soup straw.
It's a big thick straw. No, I don't
What's
like
with
any
the sound
of this.
effects constantly? Oh my god, stop it, Claire.
Fine. It's fine. What's our last question, Claire?
Oh, I've got more.
Yeah, there's one more.
Would you rather go to preservation and be told to be a free agent, or hop on a ship to the unknown?
Oh, I want to live on preservation for sure. That's my utopia.
It's hard not to jump ahead to other books in the series because I want to hop on a ship to the unknown if the ship is art.
Oh, well, yeah, you didn't say that. You didn't specify that.
I know,
well,
but
I haven't read the rest of the series on purpose, so none of this shit can happen, young lady.
It's cheating. I know. I'm sorry. I haven't ruined a future book for you in a long, long time.
It's true.
I had to do it a little bit because I love art, but art comes later. So if I'm thinking of just this book, just right now, I guess I need to take Murderbot's desires.
But you're Murderbot.
I am Murderbot. Yeah, I guess I'm probably going to be pretty petulant. I don't want to be told what to do, so I'm probably going to hop on a ship anyway. Don't tell me what to do, and then I slurp my soup and I jump on a ship.
Sensible answer.
Yes. What are you doing?
You've got to realise as well, you're going off to the great unknown, where you don't know anybody and they won't talk to you.
It's also true. They won't bother me about what's underneath my helmet.
And if they do, you just growl at them. Or slurp your soup in a really disgusting fashion.
Yeah. Yeah, I could do that. I could be disgusting on purpose.
Exactly.
I mean, pretty good
it
at
happens every weekend, so...
Happens all the time.
It's been a while since you've had black goop coming out your mouth. There's has to be tomato soup this time.
I know. I haven't gotten to dress up in a while, and it makes me sad.
I really fancy some tomato soup, and I've had my dinner.
Well, you can have a snack later.
It's like 5 to 9 at night. I'm not having soup.
Patty, what kind of soup are you going to have? Did we ask you that? What kind of soup are you going to have?
I'm not that fond of soup.
But you can make delicious food.
Yeah, vegetarians can cook a steak.
Yeah, I like, cauliflower soup, tomato soup. Yeah.
Cauliflower soup.
Oh, it's so good.
Really? You have to sell me on that one because that sounds boring AF.
Oh, it's so good. You take little bits of the cauliflower and you brown them in butter until they're crispy, and then you sprinkle those on top with a little bacon juice, cheese, grease. Yeah, it's delicious.
Right, see, you had me at bacon.
Oh.
Oh, it's fantastic. Okay, well, that's our last Would You Rather question. Patty, do you have anything that you want to add? Anything you want to say about Murderbot or just the world in general?
Martha Wells is my favorite writer and has been for eons. Read all her books many, many times.
I love it.
Yeah, she's
now,
great.
I'm pretty sure that when you told me to read this one, I told you to read The Girl Who Could Move Shit with Her Mind. I think that was our trade. So I think it was a pretty fair trade, don't you think?
Fair trade,
I think they're very comparable as well, actually.
Yeah.
So I think if anyone is ever recommended a book by Patty, you should read it because she knows what she's talking about.
Thank you.
Almost like she's a librarian.
I know. It's almost like she's done this for nearly 40 years.
Yeah.
Librarians have magic powers, but not like the scary witchcraft ones where you have to go and lynch them. It's like, learned.
I don't know. I think they think it's lynchable here.
I'm pretty sure they do think that.
I mean, I did try to say it as a disclaimer, but okay. I can see the ravening hordes in the window behind.
Yeah.
They all look very dumb.
Yeah. Oh, it makes me sad. It makes me really sad. But you know what makes me happy? To go to work every day. That person right there.
Back at you.
I know. Emotions are happening. I need to put my helmet on and slurp my soup.
Murderbot, but emotions are bad.
I know. I do not like having emotions.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Feelings.
Things would be easier if we didn't have feelings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, then they couldn't be hurt by people calling you a pervert.
Yes. And a pedophile and a groomer.
And a pornographer.
And a Oh, you're a pornographer now. That's fantastic. So you're making films?
No. I'm just doing my job.
Oh, okay. So I thought we were making films in the library after hours.
I've seen that movie.
Where have I been? Not invited, because Patty's the only pornographer in the library.
Well, I guess
if it was genuine pornography, you'd probably make more money, to be fair.
Probably
would.
Probably so. All right. Well, you probably need to get back to work. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for forcing me to read Murderbot years ago.
You.
And then vicariously making me read Murderbot.
Thank you both for actually doing it during this podcast.
Of course. We love Fictional Hangover. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
I guess I should just, again, say thank you to Library Director Patty, who joined us.
Thank you, Patty.
And who forced me to read this book. And I guess, given the reality that we currently live in, I should not say that she forced me to read this book. She suggested that I read it because she thought that I would connect with it and that I would enjoy it. And she offered it to me in a kind way and did not groom me or persuade me in any sexual fashion to read this book.
But what you're telling me is Patty did her job as a librarian where she found a book and a person and matched them up. And it was an appropriate book for the appropriate person. You know, it's really strange how librarians actually do that and don't actually stock inappropriate books and don't make sure that it's only people who should be reading them do read them. It's strange that.
It's
almost like
shocking to me.
The natural order of things and their job. Yeah.
It is very shocking. I am being 100% serious. Anyway, favorite final thought quote? Move on past that? Move on?
Yeah. Gonna give you 3.
Okay.
Or if you're French, toi.
Not French, but go on. Do go on.
I was indifferent and vaguely annoyed.
Like, is that a quote or is that just happening right now?
It's for me to know and you to find out. Okay. I liked the imaginary people on the entertainment feed way more than I liked real ones. But you can't have one without the other.
Aww.
Again, relatable. And lastly, you may have noticed that when I do manage to care, I'm a pessimist.
Oh, that's me. Made of pessimism.
That is us.
Fantastic. Oh, Murderbot's so relatable. Fantastic.
What's yours?
Murderbot plus actual human equals awkwardness.
Whilst you're just actual human equals murderbot.
Yes. Actual human plus awkwardness equals murderbot. You can rearrange that math problem any way you need to, and it will make sense.
I am
Actual human plus awkwardness equals murderbot. Murderbot plus actual human equals awkwardness. What's the other way? Awkwardness plus murderbot does not
equals actual human.
No, it does not equal actual human. Unless you're talking about us. In which case, yes, it does make sense. Oh my god. Okay. I hate having emotions about reality.
Again, is this you or a quote from the TV show, from the book? Sorry, I'm confused.
It's hard to say. It's hard to say, really. And then finally, there was no rational reason for me to sound like a whiny human baby.
Again, we need to start differentiating here. We are murderbot.
We are murderbot. Yes. Oh, I also I'm out of practice at controlling my expression. Right now, I'm pretty sure it was somewhere in the region of stunned horror. Or maybe appalled horror. Just horror all the time. I love Murderbot. I just want to read the entire audiobook aloud. You know, it's only not sped up at actual human speed. It's only 3 hours and 7 minutes long. And we've had a few episodes that are almost exactly that long as well. So I would just like to suggest that since this episode is pretty short, you should just go and listen to Murderbot.
Supplement it with added Murderbot.
Yeah.
In fact, you should have gone back. Get in your time machine. Go back to the spoilers when we give you the spoiler alert. Go and listen to Murderbot, then come back.
Yeah.
You'll need a time machine.
Yeah. It's fine.
Everyone's got one these days.
All right. If you liked this, try this. What are you going to suggest?
Well, I'm going to be honest. I wanted to give a Murderbot kind of thing. But I haven't read a lot of bot stuff. So I went to the internet and I found on bookriot.com a recommendation for Dave, or D4VE, by Ryan Ferrier, and it's illustrated by Valentin Ramon. And the summary from Book Riot: humans have been exterminated. The galaxy has been denuded of life purely on principle. Nobody contributed more to that effort than Dave. Robot war hero. However, now that the battle is won, he finds himself trapped in the same stifling day-to-day social roles as the humans before him. Watch him fight the man, the robot, in this satirical comic. And it sounds quite fun. It feels like it would be what happened to Murderbot if all the humans were dead and he'd finished watching Sanctuary Moon. Well, no more Sanctuary Moon got made. You know, he'd have to go and do stuff.
It'd have to entertain itself in another way.
Yeah. So it sounds quite fun.
I agree.
What have you got?
I also went to the internet to find a good suggestion. But I would also just like to say, obviously, everyone go and read the rest of this series as well, because it's really good, and there's still more coming out.
I think that's a given.
Yeah. But I found a list on Epic Reads of 30 YA sci-fi and fantasy books by Asian American authors. And the one that I found to share is also a graphic novel. It's called The Infinity Particle by Wendy Zhu. And you might remember Wendy Zhu from an episode that we talked about a while ago, Mooncakes.
Yes!
Clementine Chang moves from Earth to Mars for a new start and is lucky enough to land her dream job with Dr. Marcella Lin, an artificial intelligence pioneer. On her first day of work, Clem meets Dr. Lin's assistant, a humanoid AI named Kai. Clem is no stranger to robots. She built herself a cute moth-shaped companion named Senna. Still, there's something about Kai that feels almost too human. When Clem and Kai begin to collaborate, their chemistry sets off sparks. The only downside? Dr. Lin is enraged by Kai's growing independence and won't allow him more freedom. Plus, their relationship throws into question everything Clem thought she knew about AI. After all, if Kai is sentient enough to have feelings, murderbot, shouldn't he be able to control his own actions? Disable your governor module there, Kai. Where is the line between AI and human? As her past and Kai's future weigh down on her, Clem becomes determined to help him break free, even if it means risking everything she came to Mars for. You gotta save your murderbot.
Gotta save your murderbot.
Gotta save your murderbot.
I feel like that needs a poster.
Yes.
Save your murderbot.
Save your murderbot.
Do we have a spotlight this week? Can we have a spotlight this week, that could go up against Murderbot?
No, nothing will outshine Murderbot, unfortunately. But we do have a new and indie spotlight book to share, and this one is actually the second in a series. And we recommended the first one in a previous new and indie spotlight. It's been a while, but now the second one is out. So
Yay!
This one is called City of Vicious Night by Claire Wynn. And I regret that I don't recall the first book of this series. I think it's like City of Shattered something. Hold on.
Light. City of Shattered Light.
Okay, I was afraid that I was going to make it rhyme on accident.
No, City of Shattered Light and then City of Vicious Night.
Yes, okay. So I would have been right, and it would have been a rhyme, and that would have been out of sight. I was trying to think of more things that rhymed with night. Bite.
That would bite.
That would bite. Okay. City of Vicious Night.
This is such a plight.
It is a plight. City of Vicious Night by Claire Wynn. For the most hated crew on Requiem, the only way out is up. It's been 4 months since runaway heiress Asa crash-landed on the matriarchal outlaw colony Requiem, bringing a nasty AI and a host of deadly secrets with her. Now she runs with her almost girlfriend Riven's smuggler crew, stealing kisses between gunfights and heists. But when a mysterious hacker sabotages their latest job, Grey Chris, other gangs turn against them, blaming them for the destruction the rogue AI caused. Nowhere in the city is safe. The only way to protect their crew is a series of trials for control of an underworld faction, and vying for a matriarch's throne is a dream Riven can't let go. But as the trials intensify, the saboteur hounds Asa and Riven's every step, determined to kill Asa and right her father's wrongs. When the saboteur reveals a horrific conspiracy threatening all of Requiem, one involving the crew member they thought they'd lost, the girls must decide whether to risk their own skins for a city that loathes them.
Ooh.
That series sounds like fun.
It does.
Especially
It
when
really
you just
does.
throw murderbots into everything.
Murderbots should be thrown into and at everything.
Yes. And whenever you throw murderbots at things, they kill the shit out of it. It's another quote from the book.
Again, we have chosen violence.
Always choose violence. Yeah. Okay, that's it for this episode of Fictional Hangover. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Claire.
Join us next time as we discuss The Lost Girls by Sonia Hartle. Look out for our Would You Rather polls on social media. Don't forget about our book. Just threw up in my mouth a little bit. Don't forget about our book club and monthly... No, I didn't really.
That was what Patty was supposed to be doing.
Don't forget about our book club and monthly challenges on Facebook. Be sure to visit our shop on Redbubble at fictionalhangover.redbubble.com for all your favorite Fictional Hangover themed merchandise, and become a patron of ours on Patreon at patreon.com/fictionalhangover. Until next time, remember, the only cure for a fictional hangover is another book.
You can find us at fictionalhangover.com, follow us on Instagram at fictionalhangover, find us on Facebook at facebook.com/fictionalhangover, and on Twitter at fictionalhangover, no ER. If you like this episode, check out our others, and be sure to rate, review, and subscribe so you don't miss out. And finally, special thanks to Liz Emerson for her music. You can find her on Facebook and Patreon. Thanks for listening.